Hi all and welcome back. In this video we're going to look at the second of our short questions here. This is going to be the 2010 section A question 2 short question which dealt with our perspective. So just looking at the question itself, we can see the 3D graphic below shows an arrangement of a series of playing blocks, so kind of making a small little kind of birdhouse or a little kind of house like that. The drawing on the right is a partially completed perspective view of the structure. So you can see we have the main block here like so, so the main kind of part of the house, minus the actual roof and this kind of front garden, we call it. So determine an auxiliary vanishing point for the 30-degree sloping faces of the triangular block and complete the drawing. So they're giving us quite a nice bit of information there. I mean, they tell us that the actual slope of our roof here is 30 degrees, and we can assume that that's the true angle, so we don't need to worry about our rise or our run for that. So that's kind of a nice bit of information. So let's look at the question then itself. I just have a little preview in the bottom, and here's the question as it will be set up. There's our main block. Really, we can just use what we have already set up to kind of get most of our question. You can see from this here, we already have a lot of our kind of main edges here brought down into our plan view or into our perspective view. Like in the last example, the perspective view is going to be below the plan view. So like, I mean, same thing, only that there's our ground line and there's our horizon line. When we hit the picture plane here, instead of projecting it up, we're just going back down into our perspective view. So let's just look at maybe starting off maybe with one of the easier ones. Let's put in the kind of the garden block here. So we can see that our garden here, that is going to come from our line here at that, and he's going to extend out a little bit past the front of the building. So what we can do, we can just extend on our guy like that. We know that the front of our kind of garden block here is on the picture plane. So if you look at that, when we project him down, that is actually going to be um, a true height, a measuring post like that. You can see anything on that is going to be true height. So whatever height this is, I mean, well, we don't know the height of it, but we do know that this bottom point here is going to be on the ground line. So we can extend him basically down where he hits the ground there. That's going to be height 0, and that's my leading edge there. And we can just bring it back. There it is going into the piece. There is the back of our object squared down, and that's our side of our block there, like so. Um, we can then just square it across by going to our opposite vanishing point here, and from our point here, from the back point, extend him on out like that. Or if you wanted, you could take your point here to bring him down and project him down there like that to get that edge. But that's our kind of block or blue block piece here like that. So that's pretty straightforward. To get the actual kind of red roof here like that, we're going to just simply kind of take our main block here, and we know that there's going to be a little overhang on the left and the right hand side of that. So I can work from the back edge here, I can work from the front edge by extending them to my vanishing point here, my vanishing point that moves me across the front face of the piece. There's going to be our overhang is going to be along those two lines there like that. So the amount of overhang we can just take from our plan view, bring it down to a spectator, project it down. So there's our overhang here to the left, which we can square back there at that, giving us our kind of 3D. And we can do the same for the overhang on the right, down to a spectator, bringing it down. And there is same at the back then. There is our overhang at the back on the left hand side and the right hand side. All we need to do now really is just add in our auxiliary vanishing points. So we know that our roof is going to move in this direction here, going uphill and then going downhill. And we know from the question that the angle is going to be an angle of 30 degrees. So lines moving in this direction, I want to have this as our baseline, our parallel line here from our spectator. We can then just draw a line at 30 degrees to that baseline. From where the baseline hits the picture plane, go perpendicular. And there is our height that we have here like so. So there's our height, which we can mark above our vanishing point, and that gives us our auxiliary vanishing point for our sloping lines there. And we can take the center down to our spectator and project it down to locate the ridge, and there is our question pretty much completed. Now, just before we finish, we'll just do the same with the back edge here just to see. Um, you can see he will be going, our ridge is going to go back along here like that, and our back corner here is actually going to go up there. So there is a really, really slight amount of kind of there like that. You'd only see it if you had a very sharp pencil, but you do want to be putting it in so that, I mean, you're not going to overlook it or miss it. But that is our each of our kind of main blocks there completed. And that's the question finished. So you're just using what information you have from your original block, squaring our items out in line with our vanishing points, and then using what we know about our auxiliary vanishing point here. And like you can see, there's not a lot of construction there, but again, it's hitting all the kind of key points. Auxiliary vanishing points and using our different object and working our way around our object. So what we'll do is in the next video, we'll tackle the third short question.